Today I messed up by spraying bidet water into my mouth and up my nose. Yes, this was today. We have, and love, bidets on the toilets in our house. My wife came up with a great idea a few years ago called Clean Team. It's 1 hour where the whole family cleans whatever they want. Since everyone is cleaning at the same time, it's a lot easier to keep it for that set duration. No one is opting out of the task, so it's easier to buckle down and go for it. Anyway, today I was showing my 11-year-old son how to deep clean the toilet. He's always been helpful cleaning, but this felt like a great age to show him how to really dig in and do the unpleasant job. I was kneeling down directly in front of the toilet showing him how to get into all the nooks and crannies, literally saying it may seem gross, but if you just suck it up and go for it, you'll feel good when you get the black. Suffice to say, I was talking and accidentally hit the sprayer control for the bidet, which shot me directly in the face. Since I was talking, it went right into my mouth, and when I moved my head to get out of the way, that made things worse and it went straight up my nose. Haven't laughed that hard in a long time. I am sure my son will get lots of mileage out of this one. Today I messed up by saying to my cat "Here comes the chubs" to the tune of the song "Here Comes the Sun" in front of my Zoom class. A few years ago I was enrolled in a statistics class for college when the pandemic started to break out. We were all forced to go online and do our lectures on Zoom, and I don't recall having ever used Zoom before that point. Because of this, I hadn't started the basic routine of double/triple checking if I was on mute, a rule we all follow now. So fast forward to the fateful day. It was probably the second or third Zoom lecture we had done, and I had unmuted myself to ask a question earlier. Soon after, I saw my glorious beast of a cat named Mr. Loki. He's a black Norwegian forest cat who is naturally very large and extremely fluffy, so it's hard to tell how overweight he is sometimes, but at the time of this story he was pretty chubby. But anyway, I see my slightly overweight cat Mr. Loki slowly waddle into the room, and it made my day. After several boring lectures, seeing him removed any darkness in my body and filled me with rays of sunshine and joy. I'm not totally sure why I did this next, but soon I started singing "Here Comes the Chubs, na 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 na," to the tune of the Beatles' famous song. I walked over to pick him up, and he immediately started purring and rubbing his little head on my chin. I then quickly noticed a quiet pause from my Zoom class. I ran over in horror and realized I was not on mute. I could see several students laughing at me, and the teacher very awkwardly said, "Please remember to remain on mute unless you have a question." Thankfully the teacher didn't acknowledge the situation any farther and never directly called me out, so it wasn't super embarrassing. Not a massive F up, I know, but it was embarrassing nonetheless. Today I messed up, so I made the entire first floor of my school blacked out. It's around 40 minutes before the school ends. The teacher has left the class. Some of my friends suddenly crowding the back of the class. It turns out there is 2 electrical cable coming out of the floor with its inner copper wire exposed. One of my friend tries to touch it and he got electrified. I came to see what happened. And somehow my intrusive thoughts told me to grab a steel wire. We used the wire earlier to make the stems for fake flowers to decorate the class. I take the wire and make it a U-shaped. Grabbed a scissor and connect an edge of the wire to a cable, and the another edge of the wire to another cable. Then my friend sprayed water on it. Guess what? Short circuit. It literally explodes like boom with literal fire and made the whole class panicked. Luckily the fire doesn't spread. It made the whole first floor blacked out. The headmaster came to my class to find out what happened. My classmates agreed to cover it and they say it's an accident. The water from the air conditioner leaked to it and it exploded. Classmates just saved me. Also the headmaster said she will call the electricity service in my city. What a crazy day. Today I messed up by dyeing my hair. Today I, M22, was helping my girlfriend, F21, dye her hair at my house before we went to bed. After seeing how happy she was with her hair, I decided I'd love to join in on the fun as well. Between the low amount of leftover dye, my lack of motivation to dye my hair, and my ability to predict consequences at the level of a 13-year-old chihuahua, I decided to redo the basement carpet. My girlfriend was immediately on board, and I dropped my pants faster than my inhibitions. She slathered the dark purple dye around, making sure to coat every curly, porous hair. By the time she was done, it looked like I fucked Grimace after drinking his birthday shake. I let the dye sit for the recommended 20 minutes, during which the dye permeated into every crease below my waist, before hopping in the shower to get rid of the excess dye. I expected a nice purple waterfall, but instead the water continued to run clear. I grabbed my handy-dandy washcloth and lathered with soap before scrubbing, but saw no difference. I started to panic as I realized my fuck up, and started sanding down my nether region with a speed and intensity never before seen. As my hand blurred past the purple painted pubes over and over, I slowly resigned myself to my fate. The worst part of all is that the dye didn't do much to the actual hair, and instead just colored all of the skin around it. Hopefully in a few days I'll go back to the normal coloration, but time will tell. Today I messed up by finding Eddie Murphy's character attractive in orbit. Let me preface this by acknowledging Eddie Murphy's sheer talent. His acting prowess has been showcased time and time again as he effortlessly slips into multiple roles in a single film. If you have ever seen the film Norbit, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. One of the most standout characters in that movie is Raspusha, an obese woman. Now, for better or worse, my tastes are somewhat diverse, and to be honest, I found myself attracted to Raspusha. In a moment of solitude, I gave in to my impulses. Little did I know, there was a plot twist waiting for me. Once my clarity set in, I decided to delve deeper into the cast of the movie. To my sheer horror, a Google search quickly revealed that Raspusha was none other than Eddie Murphy himself, brilliantly disguised in a costume. That realization hit harder than any punchline. Today's lesson? Always Google first.